He's going to be doing an overview of artificial intelligence and its effect on, and its disruptive effects on the supply chain. So before we do that, I realized before I even started the seminars, I forgot to announce myself as the MC. So my name is Jason Shin. Jeff here, who's about to stand up here, would be very disappointed to see me not do that because he was actually my professor when I was in college for my entrepreneurship class. So I'm still a little bit bitter about us getting second place in the contest at the end of the year, but we're happy to have him regardless. So please welcome to the stage, Jeff Streader.
You can stay listening. Come on. Good afternoon, everyone. So I'm pleased to be up here, and I'm going to speak to you today about a topic that everybody, I believe, knows a little bit about, and none of us probably know too much. Those of us that are here that are suppliers, this topic today, artificial intelligence, I think will be interesting to you because you probably think, what does it mean to me as a manufacturer, as a textile mill, as a garment maker? It's really about the retailer and what the retailer needs to understand. Not true. Artificial intelligence will touch all of us dramatically in our professional careers in the next couple of years. Go Global is my firm. It's an investment platform. My partner Christian Foyer is here. And the topic today is digital disruption in the supply chain as powered by artificial intelligence. So global retail, and I use this slide as kind of a let's jump into it. Global retail is up 3.5% for the year. And people talk about, oh, the stores that are closing and what's going on at retail. Globally, it's up. Retail stores are in transition, and we're seeing improved sales across the board as retailers understand that this journey is about customization. Online platforms like Alibaba and Amazon continue to take market share. However, online sales are still significantly lower than brick and mortar sales. Just about 15 minutes ago, I asked two industry veterans, what do you think that the online sales are in the United States? The Department of Commerce just on Friday, August 17th, just released data about online sales in the United States. Online sales in the United States were up almost 4% for the quarter over quarter. And it now totals in the US 9.6%. Wow. One of the answers I had from a really bright person in the industry was 35%. Everybody thinks online sales is where I need to be. And in Canada, here, and this is data I just captured this morning, year over year, it's 8.1% of total retail. So all of these people that are moving away from brick and mortar stores and jumping into just a world of online, don't do it. Customer engagement, customer experience, customer touch is still significant at a brick and mortar location. Despite the modest numbers, the impact of online revenue, online commerce is significant. 2 user profiles, 2 instances of inventory, 2 different touch points. It's creating havoc both at retail and with the supplier community that's here. What are your inventory needs by channel? Where is my inventory? In my store, in my distribution center, with my partner. And what is my ideal model stock? Because obviously you want to have just the right amount of inventory so you don't have to mark down your goods. So to service and retain your customer, you need to have the right amount of inventory. And this is clear that along with this, customer experience today is even more important. To connect with her, the consumer today, the millennial consumer that has replaced me, us, the baby boomers, as being the most important. And she is smarter than we are. She's more digitally connected than we are. She does her research. And if you, the brand, or you, the retailer, do not listen to her, she will walk. She will go to another brand. So the question is, what is artificial intelligence? You all can go and look at it online, and there's about 100 different definitions. And what I tried to do, rather than just doing a straight wiki reply, is I pieced together what I thought would make sense for me. And that is, it's a form of computer science, which you all get, that emphasizes the creation of intelligent machines to do it better the second time and better the third time in learning, as we do, through repetition, through muscle memory. Artificial intelligence is better each time because the machine adjusts like a human brain does. So we believe that artificial intelligence will drive digital transformation in our industry at retail. What time of day will my customers make the purchase? How often do my customers make a purchase with my brand? And how does the weather impact her making a purchase with my brand? Answers that, like that before, that were all hearsay, and all people in the planning department in a retailer that used to guess, best guesses. That's not happening anymore to that degree, because artificial intelligence is taking in all of this data, all of this science, and using it to make business decisions. So with the emergence of big data, brands are faced with this new relationship between not only listening to their consumer and trying to be responsive to her. I'm sorry, I'll continue to use her as the consumer. And then my supply chain, which is really important to my success. If my supply chain is disconnected and I'm learning about her, my consumer, and my supply chain is not in lockstep with me, I'm out of stock. Or my return delivery is 3 months or 4 months. So retailers really need to drive to connecting the supply chain with the consumer. And that's where this is going and what I'm going to talk about today. Artificial intelligence, AI, augments what I believe what we are capable of doing as a person, a team, a company, a brand. I believe we need to use artificial intelligence. Things such as clearance, inventory markdowns. When do I move away from a color? When do I adjust my SKU? So I go from where it used to be a 1-2-2-1, where my customer base is now younger and smaller. And I need a 3-3-1-0 because she's younger. So the potential application of artificial intelligence at retail includes all of the things that I've listed up there, which is design support systems, such as if knits are working and crop knits are working and cap sleeve knits are working, my design team should hear about this quicker, and my design team should pivot away from wovens and focus on what's checking at either retail or in the marketplace. In fashion recommendations in social media, which we're all hearing right now, where you could now see it now, buy it now. We're on LinkedIn, on Instagram, on Facebook, on other social media, where a product can be shown with a hyperlink. You've seen it, I'm sure you have. I don't know whether you've used it. On Instagram, where there's a product that's shown, it's this great jacket that I'm wearing, and there's a link underneath it and would allow you to go to Nordstrom's and buy it. Happening today, social commerce. Artificial intelligence is looking at all the people that are online that are looking at Jeff's jacket and are interested in Jeff's jacket, and that type of data is fed back to the manufacturer. Happening today. inventory management and forecasting and planning. As an inventory guy, as an ops guy from the supply chain, our biggest nightmare was when we would go into a season and we would think that we were going to sell these 4 colors in whatever quantities, 50%, 30%, 20%, 10%, and then as the season goes on, it's clear that one color was dead. So it's the ability through artificial intelligence to make these adjustments by looking at historical data so your inventory is cleaner. Artificial intelligence is driving planning and forecasting and line assortment. Retailers are embracing this. And then promotional planning and execution of the plan. So it's all moving faster. Artificial intelligence and cloud. AI and machine learning is starting to change our industry today. And for those of you that are in retail, perhaps you're touching it today. For the manufacturers that are here that are perhaps in their booth because it's the first day, they're probably not touching it. But they have to, and that's where this is intending to go, intending to complete the circle. But you have already embraced change, as I'm sure you will, as an AI enabler for your business. And so with wide access to a full suite of SaaS products, cloud, software as a service, you do not have to buy an enterprise license, as we know, and you're able to go in and rent it, a license to be able to go in and use a particular software. This is all a part of the fast-growing change to our industry in the apparel industry, SaaS, software as a service. And artificial intelligence will continue to grow in terms of omni-channel fulfillment and the endless aisle. And endless aisle, what that means, if you do not know, is endless aisle means if I go into a store and I'm looking for these brown jeans that I'm wearing, and the store does not have the brown jeans, then my POS system would look back at my inventory and it would tell me where the inventory is. So it's not just the inventory that's there in the store, it's an endless aisle, and the system will come back to me and it'll make a recommendation to say, go get that pair of brown jeans from the store that's 3 miles away and make it available to the customer. This technology is a tremendous help to consumers, tremendous help to retailers, and a tremendous help to us, the suppliers, because the product that the consumer wanted is now getting moved to the customer. So by 2020, and I captured this in an article just last week in the Wall Street Journal, by 2020, it is believed that artificial intelligence will increase productivity in our industry by 30%. We're in the back half of 2018. 30%, and that article talked about all kinds of things. A lot of it was related to inventory productivity. A lot of it was related to having the right designs put into place that the consumer wants, because it's about her, the consumer. It's not about us, the brands, that are pushing to the consumer and pushing to her what we think she wants. So artificial and intelligence and the consumer, AI will drive productivity with the consumer through some of these things that we talked about. So there was an interesting article that I read this morning. Yeah, I just finished this deck this morning, and I like to keep it current, and this is on the Canadian company Aldo shoes. And Aldo has embraced artificial intelligence. And I don't know if any of you have been into an Aldo store recently. I have. It's pretty amazing. When you go in there and you have these magic mirrors, these screens that allow you to look at a large size iPad, a large size video monitor, and pick a shoe based upon the type of shoe that you like to wear, whether it's a loafer or it's a boot or it's a pair of dress sneakers, and then you could quickly look at various colors and various options in the store based upon you and based upon your likes. It starts to bring product recommendations to you. So they've embraced this, and they have seen a tremendous uptick in conversion, which is what this is all about in their store, by providing augmented presentations in the store. So same inventory in the back, but now it's accessible to where I'm not just walking in the store and looking at the brown shoes or the black shoes that I think are interesting, but now I have the video, the monitor there, the interactive monitor that allows me to see that their entire suite of inventory. This is bringing the customer in. This is bringing the customer into a world which is providing them a view of everything that the company offers. I think it's absolutely fantastic, and this is where retail is going. If you haven't been in one of their stores, I'd highly recommend it. So they're leveraging the Internet of Things for their success. I just went one too many. So this is a little bit more complicated, and I'm going to refer to A/B testing. I'm not going to read through the whole deck, but so if you, A/B testing simply is what happens when I go forward and I do this, and my result is not what I expect. And would my option be that if I change this and now the new result is this? So A/B testing is, it's really looking at two different scenarios and two different outcomes based upon the same inputs. So in what we're seeing today with artificial intelligence is retailers, rather than just saying in your Monday meeting, when you're sitting down and looking at your inventory and noting that the teal shirts, it's almost end of summer, we don't need teal shirts anymore, but we're long. We still have 60% of our inventory. We need to mark it down. So mark down the teal, don't touch the navy and don't touch the white. So what this is talking about, multi-item markdown optimization, is actually trying to accelerate the interest in a category by not just focusing on a single color or single SKU. It is looking at the broad category and saying that, okay, we've got to get the customer that's going to come in, and the customer is interested in woven shirts, but if we just promote the teal, we may not get the sale. So we have to look at this in different ways, even if there is a regression and that there is a sale that you're taking on an item that did not need the markdown, and it did not need the markdown to be able to get the sale, but you're using that to get them to buy the second or the third item. So it's attacking an entire category, and it is something that before, it was a 1600 and SAT type of person that could sit and do that, but not anymore. This is where artificial intelligence comes in, and this is the way we will look at inventory. This is really, really the way of inventory management at retail. And then there's chatbots. I was slow to adopt. When I called American Express, when I called the airline, when I called my bank, when I got the automated phone, the automated chatbot, and she would recognize my mobile phone and she would say, "Welcome back, Jeffrey." And then I would have a conversation with this machine, and my impatience would lead me to saying over and over again, "Representative, representative, representative," until the third time and I cut her out. But I've learned that then you have to start all over. When I get pushed to a human, I now have to go through the whole things, including asking 2 layers of security. And so I have embraced chatbots in all of these companies that are using chatbots, and I have found that there's intelligence built behind it about my profile. They have been able to capture usually what I call about. They understand who I am, and when I need to go to level 3 to talk to a human, all of that carries forward with me. The belief is that the investment into bots in our industry, where you're going to have bots that are actually helping us when we shop, when we walk into a store, and it recognizes you because it picks up your IP address and you jump on into their store internet via their captive portal. It recognizes you, it knows that you love their jeans, and the chatbot will be able to initiate a conversation with you based upon your customer profile. This is absolutely coming. It's coming. And it will accelerate the brand's ability to build intimacy with us, the consumer, to a point where they, the brand, if that's a brand that you shop at, they will know more about us, which will lead to more efficient designs, which will lead to more efficient inventory, which will lead to a better customer experience. Chatbots are coming, and we just have to find a way that we, depending upon what part of your company you're in, that you will embrace it. Artificial intelligence. And then there's this whole thing about customer listening. It's similar to chatbot, but it's through search. And I recently had the opportunity to spend time with the people at Microsoft, and their search engine, Bing, is really trying to have a more efficient product that when my search, which may be different of how you articulate it, but we want the same product. And I'm like that with Alexa at home. When I try to get something from Alexa and she says, I can't help you with that, or I don't know that answer. And then I reset. I'm sure you've all gone down that path with Alexa and Siri where you get pissed off that Siri doesn't know your answer. Well, I do. But it's really machine learning to try to understand really what does Jeff want and how can I give Jeff his answer. And so Microsoft and Baidu and Google and Facebook and Amazon and all these guys are spending a significant amount of time to improve the accuracy of their search. So when we search, they can point us to what we want, but then even more importantly, they could capture that search of what we're searching for as they build a profile about us. Machine learning about Jeff. What does Jeff like? What does Jeff want? So when I ask the question and you ask the question and we have different answers, it's because of the profile that's been built up. I think it's very interesting, and I think this is all leading to what we all know. The world is a small place, and it's getting smaller. So, but I am a partner here to the retailers. I'm a manufacturer. I make jeans. I make jackets. What does this mean to me? What it means is that your customer, the brand or the retailer, now I'm flipping, sorry, I flipped, I'm now a manufacturer, is working diligently to better understand her. My brand, my customer, is investing into technology to better understand her. And with this new accuracy and this improved understanding of who their customer is, they're going to be better. And they're going to be better with what they ask of me, and they're going to start sharing this with me. This transparency is something that my brand will want me to have because I will do a better job for them as a manufacturer, as a partner. And so what I need to do as now a garment company is I need to build up my digital awareness. I need to add people to my team, regardless if I'm in Indonesia, India, Ukraine. I need to add people to my team that are from the digital world. You are not just a garment maker anymore. You need a full digital team, and that's not just somebody to run your Gerber cutters. It's not that at all. It's about connecting and understanding the data that's going to be pushed to you as a manufacturer, and you've got to be a part of that digital world. But I don't know the customer. So again, what does this really mean? So the modern supply chain partnership for the manufacturers in here, they embrace technology for your future. Collaboratively works, as I mentioned already, with the IT teams of your customer. So when your sales team from China comes to the United States or comes to Canada to work with your customer, you want to ask the question, what about IT? Can I connect my IT with your IT? What more can we learn? How can I be a better partner? Not just by reducing my cost. That machine learning, Internet of Things, and artificial intelligence are not just tools for the supply chain. Pursue new automation, not just new Juki and Brother and Gerber. Pursue new automation. And the question is, are you as a supplier, as a manufacturer, are you ready for these digitally native brands, these minimum order quantities, MOQs of 300 on one item and 3,000 on the next item? Are you ready? Well, that's what you have to be ready to service, because they are going to grow, the digitally native brands, even if they open a few stores like Bonobos has. And digital transformation will continue at retail, so you have to find a way to invest in this. Things like open protocol, which is really the data structure, and public blockchain are here. I'm not going to touch those subjects because they're really deep, and I'm not a technologist, but they're here and being used right now. And zero inventory stores, which we think are very interesting. And my partner Christian and I have looked at some of these examples that are out there, which the store, when you walk into, really has samples. It's like being here at the show. And when you pick an item out that you like, and they have all the different sizes, whether it's a 32 waist or a 36 waist, and they can talk about what the specs are, and they can talk about the fit, modern, classic, contemporary, full figure, whatever it may be, you don't take it with you. You order it. Yes, we have it in our warehouse, and yes, we will have it to you tomorrow. That zero inventory store is coming. Showrooming. What does that mean to you? It's freaking great, because all your product is going to be in the warehouse ready to pop out, and hopefully you're connected with them digitally so you know what their model stock is and when you need to respond. So conversations that you've never had before will now become relevant as a manufacturer with your customer, such as cost per acquisition. You'll have things before, all they wanted to know is what my cost is, what are my costs. There's a lot that they're going to start sharing with you, especially as online grows. This is a very interesting, not related to apparel video, that shows all of us how far technology is coming. Can you turn it way up? Can you hit it hard? Technology companies are sinking tremendous amount of investment capital into innovation like that. It's not our industry, but the same type of investment is happening in our industry. I just think that is so wonderful. And then this idea here, I don't know if, where I've seen it, maybe it's JFK in New York City, but there's a shop that's at JFK where you go in and there's food and drinks and everything all over the place. Maybe they're here in Canada, I'm not sure. And there's nobody that works there. And it's just, you pick out what you want, you find a checkout, you slide in your card and you go. And there's bags there. There's nobody there. So the question is, and that happens to be, you can see the Uniqlo emblem down here in the lower right-hand corner. I just captured this today off the internet, and Uniqlo, which they're in a part of the the fast retailing group in Tokyo, they're experimenting with this now, where they're going to have neighborhood stores, smaller commodity products, you know, stack them deep, and they're going to be unmanned stores. So the question is, this next generation of do-it-yourselfism, which is not my term, I got captured that, but is this potentially the future? And what does that mean? So where do you go from here? And whether you're on the retail design product side of the fence, or you're a manufacturer on the other side of the fence and sourcing, honestly, I think it's freaking really exciting. This is nothing to be scary about. This is really the future, and this is reason to get fired up about our industry that perhaps was too stale, and perhaps there were too many stores, and perhaps there were too many brands, and it was too much noise. But this is a reason to get fired up, to embrace technology, regardless of what you do, embrace it for your business, and be a part of what I think is a super exciting period for us in the retail and apparel industry. And so for me, thriving regional shows like this, ATS Canada, and with the support of JPC Inc. and CCCT, this provides a platform for us to share educational ideas, and thank you very much. If there's time, if there is time, I know that there's a great panel coming up next, but
we got plenty of time. If we want to do some questions for Jeff, I got a couple of mics here. You want to sing a song? You do that too?
Please don't be intimidated. I am not a technologist, so if you seriously, if you have a question that's not technology, fire away. If you want to talk about technology, I can try, but I'll give it my best. All right. Well, thank you all.
We got one over here.
We got one guy that's going to step up.
Jeff, I come from the reverse world side, and one of the things that happens in apparel is a lot of products are returned because the retailers and the e-tailers encourage them by multiples, send back whatever you don't want. Do you see artificial intelligence a way that it's going to make a difference there, and how?
So that's a great question, and I believe that the world of reverse logistics will see tougher times, because as brands and retailers which fill the racks of TJ Maxx and Ross and Winners have greater accuracy in their ability to understand her and to produce product that she wants, therefore leading to fewer markdowns and less residue. So I believe the reverse logistics sector will find it'll be less plentiful for you in the future, sir, and I hope that's the case. Sorry.
Anybody else got a question for Jeff? Oh, we got one over there. Of course, I'm on the other side. This is Murphy's Law. That's best.
Hi, good afternoon, Jeff. So if you look at companies like Zara, right, where you have, they can see a design, have it on the shelf for worldwide, this is 21 days. That still doesn't represent the majority of retail or apparel retail. The majority of apparel retail is still the case where 9 months, 12 months, that entire development cycle still happens. So where do you see artificial intelligence being able to crack that nut of the 9 to 12 month cycle of the majority of apparel retail to bring it close to that Zara model, which is where the customer's mindset is right now?
So Zara and others are using a quick response model to quickly grow their business. There's a store in Los Angeles, a company in Los Angeles called Fashion Nova that you may or may not have heard of, that has revenue of $1 billion, and it's about being responsive. And so big companies that have been notoriously not known as being responsive, such as Hudson Bay, such as Macy's, such as Kohl's, are learning that if they are not using artificial intelligence to do a deep dive into the multi-layer indexing and understanding of your product category, size, and color. If they're not using artificial intelligence to run their inventory, to plan their business, to do their line assortment, their markdowns will continue to be at the same levels of where they are today. And their markdowns run, they start at 70%, they end at 40%, talking about Kohl's, Macy's, and Hudson Bay. So they have 30% of markdown built in when they go to market. When they go out and their IMU, initial markup, is at 70%, they're planning to end at 40, because that's the factor that they have in there for mistakes, because we're not going to be clean. As we use artificial intelligence, first to reduce the dependency on that drug is a markdown, and that's a drug. And then we look at it, so how can we more quickly understand her through the fact that she's coming to HudsonBay.com, through the fact that she is coming to our stores, we're building a profile, and we're understanding her. You're gonna see a pivot into smaller, tighter buys that are based upon a set number of core fabrics, a 12-ounce denim, a cotton jersey, a 220 cotton jersey, certain products that they'll have core on, and they'll build into that based upon intelligence. I think that these big guys like Hudson Bay will never be as fast as ours, because that's not their model, but you're gonna see them go from 9 to 3 months. It's gonna happen. Because the only other option is they go away. That's what I believe. Hudson Bay is going to invest in artificial intelligence. Kohl's is, I know. I speak with them on a regular basis. So they're all, even the big guys. 9 months doesn't work. 9 months doesn't work. So thank you everyone for your time.